Hello. So, for those of you following along, my Dailyish video blog, it's not daily, which is why it's called Dailyish. And so today I am going to talk about chapters. So, I start and stop a lot of projects. So, I've built like hybrid drones, and I've written books, and I've, created circuits, and I've done all kinds of stuff. And for a long time, it would make me feel really bad when I basically ended a project. And by ended, I meant like I just stopped doing it. Like I either ran out of time, or the amount of time I would need in order to continue was not the amount of time that I had available. So there's a way that I think about these things that I think might be helpful to some people who are listening, and that's the idea of chapters. So let's say when you start a new project, you think of it like a chapter. And basically at the end of that chapter, it's not like it's the end of the book. Like the end of the book is when you can stop contributing chapters, right? So basically, when I finish a project, I think of it like, well, that's the end of this chapter, and the next chapter may or may not contain those activities within it, but and most of the time it doesn't, but that doesn't mean it can't. So it's like easier for me to part with my projects thinking about them that way, and I encourage other people to do that. So like, let's say you got really into dance and you are dancing, you're taking classes, you're improving all the time, but then you decide, I'd rather do CrossFit or something like that. So if your objective is physical fitness, then there are lots of ways of achieving that goal. So for me, my goal is always learning. So I'm always learning new things, I'm always doing new things, I'm always sort of expanding my skill set that way. So when I end a chapter, I think, well, that's the end of that chapter as it pertains to the objective of learning, and now I can move on with the knowledge that I've acquired and do bigger and badder projects. So anyways, this is going to be a short one, but basically, like, if you need to stop doing something at some point, if you think of it less like, oh, I can never do this thing ever again, and it's more like, well, I'm pausing on this for now because I'm going to use my time in a different way, you basically just ended the chapter. It's not the end of the book, and you have a long way to go. So I think that a lot of people would benefit from thinking about things that way, and I figured I would go on record as saying that that's how I think about it. So anyways, chapters, chapter your life. It also works on weekends, so I like to what's called bookend my weeks, my work weeks especially. So on Fridays, I try to do something that bookends that week, something deliberate that I can't do during the week. So it's like a mental bookend for that work week. And I can go into the weekend full on, like, hey, it's the weekend. I'm gonna do a whole different set of things that I can't usually do during the week. So yeah, bookends, chapters, that kind of stuff. If you intellectually believe that, it's a lot easier to move on. So anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.